Tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the Richard Glossip case and what you think. What do you think about all the developments that you've seen recently?
Well, obviously worried about the developments that we've seen recently, and which is why we're speaking out as much as we can today to try to see if we can persuade Governor Mary Fallin to intervene and let the lawyers have another 60 days to bring in the latest witness statements, which we believe will hopefully completely prove his innocence and make sure that he becomes a free man in 60 days' time.
What strikes you the most about this case? You've advocated against the death penalty for some time, but so have a lot of people who are involved. What is it different about this case? It's not just against the death penalty.
No, I mean, this case is against executing an innocent man. You've got a situation where in America, if you're found guilty of, or if you're accused of murder and you've murdered somebody, you can actually get off the death penalty by pointing the finger at somebody else. And that is what's happened. The murderer has pointed the finger at somebody else. The murderer, judges have said, is a completely unreliable witness. And we've had people who've overheard the murderer speaking, 3 different people, saying that he's set Richard up. And that there is almost no evidence to show, apart from the murderer's words, that Richard was guilty. So there is a real danger of America doing what some of these third world countries do and executing somebody who's innocent. And that's something which is just not acceptable in this day and age.
And as I'm sure you're aware, Oklahoma is very supportive of the death penalty. And that seems to have clouded a lot of the conversation about this case.
Look, there's 2 separate arguments. Oklahoma can be supportive of the death penalty, but I'm sure people who live in Oklahoma are not supportive of innocent people being executed using the death penalty. And I think that there is a danger that the governor just wants to get rid of this situation and have the execution and move on to other things. And if she does that, she won't get rid of it. I think there will be people who will, who will ever follow up on this case. There will be documentaries made, there'll be films made, and it'll be a big mistake. I think when somebody's innocent, people do not want to see innocent people being sent to their death.
If Richard Glossip is executed, do you think this changes the conversation about the death penalty in America?
I think any innocent person who's executed, it changes the conversation. I think one of the principal arguments for getting rid of the death penalty is the amount of innocent people who have been executed. My grandfather was a High Court judge in the UK, and in the 30s and 40s, the death penalty was allowed, and he had to put a black hat on occasions to execute people. And I remember as a young man, he used to talk to my father about how worried he was. You could never be, it's so difficult to be 100% sure of somebody's guilt, and the easiest way to be absolutely sure, is not to execute them, is to let the real people languish in prison all their lives, and if DNA proves them to be innocent, they can be released.
All right, well, Mr. Branson, thank you so